Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're back out the range with the Sig SPEAR in 6.8 by 51. The reason we came back out here is because when we did our initial video, we were shooting some of the new 113 grain military ball, which we have here in this box. And it's a solid copper bullet. And we talked about in the video that this ammunition with a solid copper bullet being, loaded to max velocities, and pressures, which is about 80,000 psi and about 3,200 feet per second with a 113 grain projectile, that you're probably not going to see the best accuracy, typical ball round performance throughout American military history of rifles. And people in the comments blew up the comments saying if the Spear is just a 4 MOA rifle, then it's junk and, they're horrible, blah, 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 blah. And I tried to make a point in the original video that this is not match ammunition and that ball ammunition generally doesn't give the best performance and accuracy. And then when you use a solid copper like this and push it to max velocities, you're definitely not going to see the best in terms of accuracy. But the energy on this thing was absolutely unbelievable. You have to watch that original video to see the gel test and the massive explosion that took place inside the gel when we fired it in there. So I think to that point, this ammo was designed to be lethal. Now, for today's video, we finally got our hands on some of the brand new Sig Fury, 277 Fury, 6.8 by 51 or 277 Fury. This is a match load. It's 155 grain match projectile. And this was on their website when we filmed our first video, but it said not yet available. Now it's available, and I got my hands on some of the early production stuff. And we're going to shoot this out of the Sig SPEAR, and we're going to see if the accuracy improved from the 113 grain solid copper max pressure ball ammunition. What do you think? I look forward to your comments down below. Leave those comments before you watch the rest of the video and see just how accurate or inaccurate the Sig is with match ammo. Stick around, should be fun. A lot of folks ask me, how can I get involved in the firearms business in that particular community? And one of the best ways to do that is to become a gunsmith. Every gunsmith I know is just overbooked with work. It's a very good living. And so if you would like to become a gunsmith, you need to go to a gunsmithing school or become an apprentice for an existing gunsmith. But Modern Gun School is an accredited college that also works with veterans in the GI Bill, where you can go and get a degree from accredited college in gunsmithing and then go out and start your own gunsmithing business, which I think is a really great option. Again, throughout my entire life, gunsmiths have always been able to earn a really good living, assuming they have a really strong work ethic. So please check out Modern Gun School. I do have a link in the video description below. After our first video, a lot of people made comments about the inaccuracy, shall we put it, of the Sig SPEAR with the 113 grain 6.8 by 51. And so we went out, because I had made the comment in that video that, a rack grade M4 with M855 or M855A1 is a 3 to even 4 MOA rifle itself. And people commented down below, oh no, they're 1.5 MOA guns with M855, or they're 1 MOA guns, all sorts of claims. And so we decided, okay, well, let's just find out. And there is a video that's either live as of the posting of this video, or it will be live very soon, where we shot the M4 with all FN barrel. It's an FN rifle. It's a collector series rifle. So it's literally the same components that would be used in a rifle that FN built for the US military, including the 14.5 inch barrel. And just real quickly, we'll show you what the results of that was. So here we have M193 ball with that M4, 3.2 MOA. M855 ball, 2.7 MOA. Over here, M855 ball, 2.6 MOA. And then over here, we had a little bit more wild spread. This is M193 ball, and this gave us 3.9 MOA. So you can see between the M855 and the M193, we were experiencing anything as tight as 2.6 MOA, 2.7 MOA, all the way up to 3.9 MOA. And it was actually getting worse performance with the M193, when generally the M855, in my experience, gives a little bit worse performance than the M193, but the M193 posted the worst group of the day. So it kind of holds true. 3 to 4 MOA is what I had said those rifles were capable of, and we demonstrated that in that video. So I wanted to find out, knowing that this, because of its copper bullet at max pressures, max velocities, isn't going to give you the best accuracy performance, I wanted to try out the match ammo. Now the match ammo has a 155 grain bullet. It is a Match King, I believe, and it's an open tip, so it has a hollow cavity in there to adjust the center of gravity on the bullet, like many Match King type bullets will have. And so we wanted to see what this bad boy was capable of. Now you'll notice it does have the bimetal case. We have brass and the steel head. And Sig does advertise on the back of the box that this ammo is capable of 3,000 feet per second with its 155 grain projectile. So we also put that to the test. Now keep in mind, this rifle has a 16-inch barrel. Sig also has the Cross, their bolt action series of rifles with longer barrels that are also chambered in 277 Fury. So I'm guessing these velocities are from a test barrel or from a barrel longer than a 16-inch barrel, because that doesn't jive with what we were able to get out here velocity-wise with our Garmin Zero chronograph. So we'll delve into that here momentarily. So what did we get for velocities, right? So the velocities that we got for this, I'm going to bring up my Garmin app here really quick, and we'll just take a quick look at the velocity. So with using the match ammunition out of the Sig SPEAR, the 16-inch barrel, we got an average velocity of 2,737 feet per second with its 155 grain bullet. That gave us a muzzle velocity, foot-pounds of energy at, foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle, not muzzle velocity, at 2677.9. Okay, so what we found was the velocities of the 113 grain solid copper, which had a velocity of 3,200 feet per second out of the same rifle. With the heavier bullet and slower velocities, we're getting about the same foot-pounds of energy, right? So you're not really giving up power. So if I go back down to our previous entries from, let's see, our 6.8 here, and you can see that we had 3196 average velocity with its 113 grain bullet, 2563, so 2,563 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. Very comparable to what we were getting in terms of muzzle energy with the heavier bullet at lower velocities. All right, so 155 grain bullet. Sounds familiar, right? Because I have ran into other 155 grain projectiles, this time in 308. So we broke out a SCAR, which also has a 16-inch barrel, which is also gas operated, and we fired some of this ammunition over the chronograph using the SCAR to compare it to the Sig SPEAR, and the velocities that we got on that were 2556 and feet per second, and then the foot-pounds of energy is 2248. So the 6.8 or the 277 Fury is faster with the same projectile, and it's also generating more muzzle energy than the same weight projectile in 308. So even in its match loading, which I suspect, even though it has the bimetal case, is not at max pressures, it's still producing more velocity and more energy than a 308 with the same barrel length. Now, it's not a massive difference, but again, I don't think that that cartridge is being pushed to the extremes, because generally speaking, match ammunition isn't loaded to max pressures or over max pressures, you know, like 10% over something like a proof round. They're generally loaded at slightly lower pressures and velocities to achieve maximum performance and accuracy. So I thought all of that was really, really interesting. And so then we want to delve into group sizes. So how did this thing shoot with the match ammunition, right? Because I had high hopes for the accuracy of this rifle. I wanted to see it at about 1.5 MOA. I would have been completely happy with the rifle if it could just hit 1.5 MOA on average with accuracy. So how'd it do? Good question. Glad you asked. You guys always ask what this sword is. It's a dagger. It's made by Dark Sword Armory, and I've had this thing for years. But, all right, so here we go. Ignore this target. This was our zeroing target. We zeroed on steel at 50, and then we did the final touches at 100, and the rest of the targets are all groups. The good and the bad are here, folks. And so we're going to show you everything this gun produced. We did 3-shot and 5-shot groups. We only have a limited amount of the ammunition. Here's a 3-shot group, 0.6 MOA with the 155 grain match. Here's a 5-shot group, 1.4 MOA, and you can see it started to open up, but you'll see it's not stringing the shots. It's in a circular group pattern. So, you know, you're not seeing like the barrel being pulled one side or the other because it's heating up. It's heating up in an ideal way, which maintains the accuracy and not stringing the shots vertically or horizontally, okay? Over here, another 3-shot group, 0.9 MOA. So sub-MOA, sub-MOA. Over here, another 3-shot group, 0.5 MOA, we're approaching half MOA accuracy with this 3-shot group out of the Sig SPEAR using that ammo. 0.84 MOA on this 3-shot group. Okay, so the 3-shot groups are consistently tight. All right, now this one is my fault. I fired a couple of rounds. One round went off when I wasn't holding the reticle dead center. I was bringing up the slack on the trigger, and the gun went off with me holding a little bit high, and it went high. But I wanted to include it anyway, 1.49 MOA, but that's definitely shooter error right there. And this is where it normally groups for me is a little bit low. So having a high shot isn't something that you typically see with the Sig SPEAR. And then here's a 5-shot group, 1.26 MOA. So even at 5 shots, it is capable of getting really close to 1 MOA accuracy. 3 shots, it's going to do MOA accuracy, maybe even sub MOA accuracy. So, folks, that's actually quite impressive. And with that match ammunition, we're still seeing lethality on par, equally matched to the higher velocity solid copper bullet. So all in all, that's really, really good news. And maybe, I don't know, maybe the match ammunition could be pushed further in terms of velocity, but I would suspect if you did something like that, you would start to open those group sizes up. So all of that being said, that is really, really interesting information. It's also good to see that this rifle is capable of, let's just call it MOA accuracy, right? Depending on the shot, the number of shots you fire into a group. If I were to fire a 10-shot group or a 20-shot group, I would imagine it would start to sling bullets just because the barrel's heating up. And again, that's not abnormal behavior for any rifle, especially gas guns. All right, so very good information. If you have any questions about additional tests that we can do with the 6.8x51 277 Fury, please feel free to post those comments down below, because you guys do give us ideas for future videos. We want to explore everything we possibly can with this rifle, because it's a brand new cartridge and a brand new rifle. And yes, the military has adopted it in some capacity. We don't really know the full story there, a lot of speculation, but the military is using this rifle and this cartridge at some level. And that's why I have a very keen interest in learning more about this. And I'm sure you do as well. So again, comment down below. Guys, if you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms channel so we can continue to bring you content like this, please consider becoming part of our Patreon family. There's a link in the video description below. I answer all private communications. You'll get early access to videos like this one. We plan on doing some live streams going forward for our Patreons of testing of firearms, so you can see in real time. If we break something, you can see it break. And so we plan on doing that over on Patreon. Again, link down below. Also, right here on YouTube, you got the support and support and subscribe button or something like that. Anyway, right underneath the video player you're watching right now, you can support us right here on YouTube in the age of demonetization. And last but not least, swing by, check out Copper Custom. Thank you for 16 years of support, and we'll talk to you guys soon.